What's up, everyone? Welcome to Pat's Chat. We got Michael, not really in a car. You guys, he tricked you. He got you good, but now I can't hear him.
Well, I accidentally muted, of course, but that's part of the joke. We're both
Good
in front
joke.
of microphones and computers. This is truly a Christmas miracle.
This is going to be the most professional Pat's Chat podcast of at least the last three Pat's Chat podcasts.
I did tell you I was going to get rid of the background, which I'm going to do right now, but I do in earnest, like I might have to McAfee this one a little bit
Wow.
because you know what they don't tell you, and this isn't just sports writers who are very brave, but all white collar desk workers.
Mm.
I am out of practice at sitting down all day, and my back is aching. So I might have to do the old McAfee. Maybe I'll get a black tank to really like reinforce it. But I'm
Look at this
sorry
guy
if I do.
bragging that he stands all the time now.
I don't. I just don't sit
Big
at a desk.
stander over here.
I sit comfortably on a couch. But so
Mm.
yeah, like a few days in a row of just sitting in a chair, it's a lot, you know. So
It's
all
really
the
hard. It's the hardest part of working is sitting in a chair.
it genuinely is. But you know who else went to work today, Doug? The New England Patriots.
It's very true. They went to work and they are 2-0 in the preseason.
Mm.
Huge news.
Mm-hmm.
But
Hey,
yeah,
you know what though?
yes,
Like,
lots of takeaways. Fun game.
I'll
Good
say
game.
this: it sucks when a preseason game takes forever to end. Like, even Zolak was complaining that the last 4 minutes took 17 minutes. But
Mm,
if it's going to take that while, you might as well have two coaches treating the last drive like the Super Bowl. Like, I
yeah.
thought that was pretty cool. You had timeouts. You had
You had Vrabel
Vrabel.
with like his hands on his knees.
He was coaching. He was
Yeah.
coaching this like what to do visually,
Hey,
which
it's preseason for everyone.
and like you could tell like O'Connell was like, I'm gonna use this timeout. And Vrabel was like, I'm gonna use mine. And it was just, for a 20-12 preseason game that really doesn't matter. I thought it was a little exciting. Although why Kyle Duggar would have done anything except go down after intercepting the pass, I'm not sure. But maybe we can get into that.
Maybe that's why he's on the final play of a week 2 preseason game. But it's funny that you mentioned that the game took a while to end because for a 1 o'clock game, that does not even cross my mind. That really only crosses my mind when it's a night game
Mm-hmm.
and either I'm up against deadline or it's late and I'm tired. But I honestly did not cross my mind that that game took a while at the end.
Yeah, it did for me because I had enough. Somewhere in the middle, like
Mm,
I think preseason games
yeah,
could be 3/4.
I think that's a fair thing to say
I
because
guess that's not a quarter,
3 periods,
mathematically speaking. But
three trimesters.
I understand the late in games are important for the lower half of the roster, but realistically, you could adjust, especially when starters are playing 2 series or
Yeah.
0 series. You've got plenty of time for everyone to play. You get your game situation. So I say, you know what? Fourth quarter, throw the kids out there, throw the mascots out there, throw some slip and slides out there. I don't know. I just, it's a
Yeah,
lot.
because I wrote like a what we learned type of piece as like my main for the paper tomorrow, and I've already posted it if you want to read that. But there's not a lot that gets added in the third and fourth quarter. Like little bits and bobs do, like oh, kicked a field goal, or like oh,
Hmm.
we got an interception, whatever. But like I like in all reality and in all honesty, if we're being completely transparent,
Mm-hmm.
Jeremiah Webb and John Giles, a lot would have to happen and go wrong for those guys to make the roster. They're probably going to be on the practice squad, and people don't specifically, other than their family members, probably don't want to read that much about them.
They
So
were feeding Giles in the second half. He got
they
like
really were.
31 straight targets.
He almost got a mention, but then he had the drop, and I was like, you know what? He doesn't quite
Yeah.
make the studs list or the
No.
best list or the up list or whatever you want to call it.
Let's see, Doug, if we align here. We often do. Top story of the game coming out. A1, number one headline is.
Mine would be Efton Chism,
Me too. Efton Chism. I mean,
the
you
Chiz
said,
man, the
you
Chiz
said,
dog.
Chisman cometh. You said when our last podcast was that yesterday?
It was yesterday. It's been a
That's
long
messed
week.
up. This is messed up.
No one
You,
should podcast 2 days in a row.
it's again the bravery off the charts. But you said yesterday that you had him in pen on your roster, and I said, "Whoa!" But now, Doug, I think we can go like fab.
Sharpie?
fabric marker, not even
Wow,
sharp,
paint
like the ones
marker.
that smell. Yeah, when you open it and you're
Yeah.
like, ooh, right up the nostrils. You can take that big fat silk
Chisel, maybe? Can you chisel it into stone?
etch Efton into the chiseled chism stone because there's just no way. And I guess the argument against, well, it's preseason, but it's like everything you're seeing at practice is
Right.
translating to the game scenario. And yeah, there have been Austin Carr, Brian Timms, that tight end with the hair who looked like Eddie Vedder, kind of.
Yeah, and like all those guys made the roster. Sudfeld.
Zach Sudfeld.
Yeah,
Um, well, Carr didn't. Carr got cut.
that is true. But then he got claimed by the
Yeah.
Saints.
But
So
so I
yeah,
think there are
yeah.
like but I don't think this is that. He is,
No,
and you can see the connection with what Josh McDaniels wants him to do. Like there was
right.
the play that Dobbs threw to him. It was like sort of a little option route down by the goal line. They were on like the 6th and he caught
Right.
it around the 2 and got tackled. And I think he was getting a little criticized on the broadcast for not finding more space to score the touchdown. But like just the crispness of that route and the decisiveness of whipping that head around and being there. You're like, I've seen this before. And this is how you make a team with Josh McDaniels running it.
Well, the other thing too is that like yes, it was against Vikings second or third stringers by the second quarter. But Efton Chism had 6 catches for 71 yards and a touchdown in one quarter. So if you extrapolate that over an entire game, then suddenly Pat McAfee, he's got 24 catches for 284 yards and 4 touchdowns. So like yes, it's against backups, but he also did all of that production in one quarter, which was crazy.
Right. I don't think I can do the podcast like this. I'm sorry. I feel like
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
just
Might be messing with levels too.
I'll just brave it up. But you know what? At least we can say we tried.
Yeah, it's very true.
I'm
Now we're
down
just
now.
staring at a ceiling.
Well, I mean, my camera issues. We've had plenty of those. But anyways, yeah, I just Elliott Wolf going on at halftime, basically praising him. Vrabel going to the podium after,
Yeah,
and just stating out loud, it doesn't matter where he came from, it matters what you do here. And Wolf actually saying that, I think, carries some weight because he's obviously the one who drafted Polk and Baker a year ago.
right.
So if there were some resistance to an undrafted guy making over them, it would theoretically come from the person who would look bad by it happening. But it doesn't seem like that's going to get in the way. So I don't know. You can come up with a lot of different 53-man scenarios. I don't see a path to one without Chism now.
No, because like it's not completely ridiculous to say that over the last, let's call it like 2.5 weeks, that he's probably been playing like the Patriots' best wide receiver. Like that's not an absurd thing to say based on everything that I've seen in practice, joint practices, and preseason games. Do I think he is the Patriots' best wide receiver? No. I think that Stefon Diggs is better than him. I think that Mac Hollins is better than him. I'm pretty sure that Demario Douglas is better than him, but he's playing really, really exceptionally well right now. And even like when you talk about Demario Douglas, Drake Maye had a near interception thrown to Demario Douglas. He threw it too high, hit Douglas in the hands, almost intercepted by the Vikings.
Should have been intercepted.
Should have been intercepted. But like they didn't say this on the broadcast, but I think it might have been someone on Twitter was saying like, well, did Demario Douglas sit in the right place in his route? And like, I think he probably did. I think that like Drake Maye probably just threw high. That's where my blame would go on that play. Do we know that for certain? No.
No, but we do know that if Demario Douglas were to continue running to the corner, he would have been running right to a defender.
Right.
So
yeah.
if Drake Maye did throw that, then it was also not right. But it did look like his first 2 passes, the one to Hollins and the one to Douglas, were both high. Mac Hollins, kind of tall, was able to catch it. Douglas, not that tall, not able to catch it.
Right. I also think it's not ideal to have like, let's call it like Diggs and the X, Pop and the Z, and Chism in the slot. But like, even if Chism isn't a week 1 starter or anything like that, I think there's ways to get him on the field at least.
Yeah, like I don't know that he's your starting receiver.
No,
but I see him getting run because it's just was it Wolf or Vrabel? I think it was Wolf saying he's stronger than people give him credit for, because you kind of see.
Yeah.
I mean, he's older. He's 23 years. I think he turns 24 in October or something to that effect. So he's not young. So he's fully matured, which is a help. Like he's not coming in as like a. I actually don't know how old Gunnar Olszewski was, but when he came in, everyone was like, "Oh, this is a funny camp thing." Like, I don't think this player is that because of his, physical maturity. And that touchdown, I joked that it was the Dion Lewis touchdown in Dallas, but like, goddamn, like he slipped one tackle, he
Yeah.
stiff armed the next guy to the ground, and then he had the burst to score from a dead stop and split two defenders, diving in. Like, it was an impressive physical play.
He like arguably broke 5 tackles on that play. Like 5 guys tried to tackle him, and he evaded all of them.
Yeah.
And once again, those are backups or whatever. But like the thing about his play strength, and this is not it's almost an Efton Chism podcast. It's not a Matt Patricia podcast, but it's almost an Efton Chism podcast. About the play strength, like he's listed at 5'10", 198. At his pro day, he was 5'10", 193. So like this is not a 5'10", 175-pound wide receiver, So like his play strength is surprising given his height, but he's actually like pretty weighty for his size,
Yeah. I looked it up, by the way. Gunnar was also 23.
Okay. Well, I don't know how much Gunnar weighed. Probably
they
not
got him at 190
pounds.
They got him at 190.
Interesting.
He hasn't played since 2023. Did you know that?
I mean, it makes sense, doesn't it?
He was carving out a little career as a punt returner, at least, I thought.
He was, but then he did something like real weird as a punt returner or a kick returner on the Steelers.
Yeah.
He like stepped out of bounds or something. So at his pro day, he was 5'10", 178. So he was like 20 pounds lighter, which matters in the NFL. I don't know,
Yeah. He could have let a kickoff go out of bounds, but instead he caught it inbounds and then went out of bounds at like the 9. And it was like, you can't do that.
Yeah. You kind of like, if you're a return specialist, you hate to see a guy lose a job, but like that's something that could cause you to lose a job.
That's like a rule quirk that everyone knows is if you stand out of bounds while catching a kickoff, it's a kickoff out of bounds. That's like that's like day one stuff. But he suffered a groin injury last year and missed the whole year, so he is on the Giants roster right now.
Oh,
so
okay.
He may well again return a punt. Maybe we'll see him Thursday.
It's quite possible.
This is the Gunnar Olszewski podcast.
This is the slot receiver podcast right now.
Yes.
But yeah, I mean, like Gunnar Olszewski was also a cornerback at Bemidji State, and Efton Chism was a highly decorated, productive wide receiver at Eastern Washington who caught 120 passes and 13 touchdowns last year. So
yeah, but no receivers have ever come out of Eastern Washington, right?
No, none. Yeah. Not any players on the Patriots, not any wide receivers who burned Patriots number 2 and 3 cornerbacks last season.
Yeah, when Demarcus Robinson was locked down, buddy.
By Christian Gonzalez, yeah.
This is like Gunnar returned to kick for the Giants game that's going on right now. So you will see Gunnar Thursday night. So maybe we shift the podcast to a Gunnar Olszewski podcast. But yeah, I think we're in agreement. You had him in pen. I'm right there with you. I don't know how it shakes out. Kyle Williams suffering a presumed concussion, not good. I don't know how that shakes
didn't return. Out. Yeah.
He struggled to get up and looked like he was finding himself. So I think we're safe to say it was a head injury, which sucks. He finally caught some balls. He was wide open on that play where Drake Maye found Mac Hollins for a big gain. That pass from Josh Dobbs was bad, and it got a player hurt.
Trevon Henderson, 4 catches, 20 yards. 4 rushes, 20 yards, touchdown. I obviously like the touchdown was great because he was running through contact and looked very strong. The 11-yard carry on 3rd and 10 was like perhaps even more impressive just because like he gained those 10 yards so fast.
Yeah, he is different than what we've seen just physically. Like, I'm not saying he's Alvin Kamara, but like, when the Patriots have a matchup against one of those running backs and you get to see them and you're like, oh, that guy's different. This guy looks to have the potential of having some assets that a Patriots running back really hasn't had. Like, you've had plenty of great running backs like James White, Dion Lewis, to name a couple of like special guys back there, but maybe the speed, power, elusiveness combo has not been there, like the total package that we're seeing so far.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's fair to compare him to like a Jameer Gibbs or like even, I mean, yeah, Alvin Kamara was one of the best running backs in the NFL
Right.
for a few years, so might be a little bit premature to call him that, but like, I mean, yeah, he looks fantastic. He looks like he could absolutely be one of those types of players, and I don't know if I like loved the idea of taking a running back that early at the time, but I mean, he's proving a lot of people wrong because if he can make as big of an impact on a full season basis as he has so far in the preseason, these like very limited scopes, then he's going to be a fantastic explosive player for the Patriots.
Yeah, I tried to do a height weight comparison because we're like we love doing comparisons apparently, and I guessed Melvin Gordon, not quite. He was a little bit bigger
Gordon was like
than
what,
Travion.
215?
Yeah, and 6'1", so that was
Mm,
also a little bit off. But to your point, like we were all when the Patriots were on the clock in the second round. Well, not me because I was in Florida on vacation, so I wasn't really sweating it out with you losers. But I was of the mind that they were going to take a receiver just like
yeah,
everybody else. So I think the comparison you're going to see now isn't Trevon Henderson versus any other running backs,
right.
but it's going to be. I mentioned it last 2 podcasts ago, but it was Luther Burden who was there
Hmm.
right after him, and then it was Trey Harris, and then it was Jack Besh were the
Right.
3 receivers in the second round, and it's like then they got Kyle Williams after that. So there's a chance
And then they got Efton Chism way after that.
way after that, like 2 weeks after that. But there's a chance, and long way to go. But like Kyle Williams looks good. So there's a chance they got a more talented player in Trevon Henderson and then still a good receiver.
Right. Yeah, for
We'll
sure.
see. But it does seem as though that risk, you can at least see the thought process and you can envision the route where it looks successful.
Yeah, I mean, and Jameer Gibbs, he's been the popular comp for Trevon Henderson. He had almost 2,000 yards from scrimmage last season and 20 touchdowns. So I think the Patriots would probably take that.
20? I mean, it's all
Did they
right.
score 20 touchdowns in total last year?
They probably eclipsed 20. I can tell you how many touchdowns they scored last year. You want to know?
Can I actually guess?
Okay.
Was it like 33?
I'm still scrolling because they have the scoring summary. So they had 11 rushing touchdowns, 18
Okay.
receiving touchdowns. That gets you to 29.
So they had 29.
One fumble return touchdown, total of 30 touchdowns.
On offense. Okay.
Nope, because
No?
that was a fumble return touchdown.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
29 on
Yeah.
offense.
29 on offense.
Yowza.
Wow. It's not a
Yowza.
lot.
Yowza. That's
So
tough. That's wow.
that was less than my guess, but and more than
Do you
more
know how
than
many
20,
touchdowns they allowed?
40.
47.
Wow. Wait, did they have a winning record last year?
The Patriots did not. They were 4-13. They had the number 3 pick, but that's only because they won in Week 18. People forget they were in line to have the number 1 pick. But hey, you want to talk about real quick number 3 pick Drake Maye from a year ago? Not great today in that opening drive. Should have had a pick. Which the fact that the safety let it bounce off his stomach kind of changes the narrative, but it shouldn't because the bad throws like that typically get picked. So a tough start, and then obviously a scoring drive on the second drive. But I don't know. He admitted himself he was a little too hyped up or something. Which I saw a video of them taking the field in front of like 7 fans around 12:15. I was like, it didn't look hyped up, but it just was another rocky start for someone who knew that couldn't happen.
I don't want to be someone who has hot takes. I don't want to be the negative Nelly, the whatever. What is your level of confidence on a scale of 1 to 10 that Drake Maye takes a significant leap this season from last year?
7.5, 8. I believe in the player. Like I've seen some
I think
special
that's
things.
fair, by the
I've
way.
seen special things out of him, and I think the coaching staff is approaching it properly. I think they're treating him like a rookie and trying to erase all of last year.
Yeah.
but there are still significant issues on the line. He's still not working with the best talent around him. So I could see it being a similar case where it comes to the middle of the year and everything's kind of on his shoulders and maybe it doesn't progress the way you want it to. But I don't know. I just if all we're talking about is turnovers, and they do the joint practices and he doesn't turn it over, and then
Right.
his first throw, which is an easy throw over the middle, is high, and then his second throw is high too, and could have been picked off. It's just a rough start, something that he's going to have to work on. Do you think he plays Thursday night? How does it work nowadays?
Probably not, right?
I forget. Like, obviously, the third preseason game used to be the big one.
Right.
Guys
But
were
now
playing in the second
one's
half.
the big one. But now even the second one's not the big one. He's had so many joint practice reps now at this point. He's played 2 preseason games. My guess would be that he doesn't. But it's a weird setup now with the 3 preseason games because, like, there is such a long break between
it's terrible.
Even roster cuts to the beginning of the season.
Is it the Saturday after next Thursday?
What, roster cuts?
So it's like the game's Thursday, and then 10 days after that is roster cuts, isn't it?
Roster cuts is August 26th.
10 days from now.
10 days from now. But then there's still another like 10 days until the season starts.
Right, the 7th. The season starts the 7th. It's insane. They're going to play this game on the 21st, and then you're going to do nothing for a week, and then you're going to do nothing for a week, and then you're going to do nothing for 4 more days.
It just feels a little weird, right? I don't know. I think it's like where in baseball the games are too short. They've overcorrected too much now where by the end of the summer there's like not enough for football teams to do without a 4th preseason game.
It's going to suck, honestly. Again, back to the bravery of sports writers. You're going to be going to practice on like September 3rd. Like,
it's
taking attendance. You're not even going to be able to watch practice probably because it's not. You can't watch. It's just going to be like, all right, this guy wasn't at practice.
It's a legitimately difficult period because there's really like you've overdone everything at that point. Like you do get Labor Day weekend off now. That's the one in September, right? Yeah, Labor Day.
It's like the 30th, the 1st,
yeah,
the 2nd. Or
so at least like we get that off now. That used to be when roster cuts were.
Yeah.
But no, like that break between the final preseason game and week 1 of the regular season, there's no more 53-man roster projections to do. There's like so little to do during that point. And like it's tough that we're already doing the Stefon Diggs overreaction because that would have been a great thing to do during that week. Right. But now we've already done that. So yeah.
I was on TV last night. Everyone probably saw. I would imagine they had it DVR'd knowing that I was going to be on there, even though I didn't tell anyone. And we started with Diggs, and it was like, what was your impression of the Rossini thing? And I came out with it strong. I said, I think he was being a silly goose. I think he was being a silly goose.
Yeah.
And he's a veteran who's bored at camp, but there we are.
So I don't know. I don't want, if I name names, then someone's going to do something with it, but
I'm holding a microphone to your face. Say it. Say the names.
This is not, so one thing I will say, because I tweeted about this today. I believe that the comments that Stefon Diggs made to Diana Rossini have been wildly overblown. And a lot of people started mentioning Phil Perry in my mentions. And I'm not like specifically talking about Phil Perry. I'm talking about the collective, I would say.
Sure. Sports radio. Just say sports radio.
People are overreacting. Yeah. I would say like more sports radio than anything else. Yeah. But like when the Diggs comments on Diana Rossini's podcast come up, Scoop City, and the reaction is like, well, I mean, this is what you knew you were getting in Stefon Diggs. It's like, you knew you were getting what? A guy not committing to playing week 1 because he doesn't want to give people a competitive advantage. It's not, he didn't say anything bad. Like, what are we doing with this? I guess I don't want to start yelling and screaming and ranting and raving, but like if you take what he said on that podcast in a vacuum, he didn't throw anyone under the bus. He didn't seem upset about it. She asked if he was going to play, and he said, yeah, I don't know. I mean, we'll see. Like, he was just, like you said, being a silly goose. And like, I don't know if that's like, oh, you knew it, you were going to get in Stefon Diggs. Like, yeah, I would take that. I don't know.
Yeah, there was that one line, and did we do this yesterday? Because if
a little bit, but not to the same degree. I wasn't yelling about it.
The line of like, I don't know, the coaches and I might disagree that I've been doing too much or something like that.
She said like, I've heard you're doing too much. And he said like, oh, I've heard that too, or something.
So
Like
that's
I've
the
been
only
pushing
thing
the needle or something like
where there
that.
might be some friction, and then you bring in Todd Downing's comments where ideally you would
Even
want.
that, we're like dissecting.
Yeah, but I thought
Yeah,
about that, and you would want Todd Downing, instead of being like he needs to not be concerned about the result, he needs to be concerned about the process, he needs to refine what he's doing, blah blah blah. You'd like him to be like, oh, he's been a great veteran, he's doing everything right, he's studying,
right.
he's helping the younger guys along. But you didn't get that, and I don't know that Diggs was brought here to do all that. I think Diggs was brought
Right.
here to be Diggs
Yeah.
largely, and lead by being Diggs. And if you want to be like Diggs, then be better. I think that's kind of the way it works. Like, it's not kumbaya, let me hold your hand and teach you how to be a pro. I don't think he's at that stage of his career.
I also think like if you want to look at other parts of this, like the fact that he's not doing much in 11 on 11s or like the downing comments, all that kind of stuff, like that's fine. But like if we're zooming in on what he said on Diana's podcast and trying to make a big deal out of it, it truly does feel manufactured to some degree.
Yeah, it would have been cool though if he played today, like in just like a
It's
series.
true. It's very
But
true.
I
Yeah.
don't know. It's preseason. There's a long way to go for the real games. It's crazy. It's all kind of thrown in the blender because it's crazy that he's out there. It's crazy that he's recovered from his ACL. You look
Right.
at um, the guy we always use who got hurt last
Kendrick
year
Bourne.
in San Francisco. No,
Oh,
Ayuk,
Brandon Ayuk. Yeah.
and he might be ready for week 7. Like, it's
Right.
just crazy that you're at this point. So yeah, I do ultimately think you don't want to sit here and be like, it's a big problem, and then fast forward to week 3 and he has 125 yards and 2 touchdowns.
And you also don't want to sit here like I am right now and being like, what's the big deal? And then
Mm,
there's a blow up on the sideline in
yeah,
week 3, which like, I'm not saying that's not going to happen because like he hasn't been like a perfect veteran leader, soldier,
right.
whatever, everywhere that he's been. So like, it's entirely possible that the people who are making a big deal out of this wind up looking smart.
Mm,
But like, can we at least wait until something significant happens before
mm.
we make this I don't know. People are bored, I think.
Yeah,
And it's gonna get more boring.
that's fair.
Yeah.
I meant to say this after the near pick, they took a delay of game
Yes.
too, which is
That wasn't great.
one of the highlights of week 1 of the preseason. Was like, that was a clean operation. Those people
Right.
knew what they were doing. They were well coached. The delay game after is tough. So, and then even, that did end in a punt, but he did drop one in the bucket to Henderson on that little wheel
Yeah.
route.
Yeah.
But I don't even fault Henderson. Like, Henderson is 2 defenders trying to clean his clock, and the
Right.
ball just kind of drops in his stomach, and he catches it. So that was probably Maye's toughest throw of the
Yeah.
game, and it was on the money. So up and down, I guess. But
Overall,
um,
he's been fine. It's just like, and like I'm with you where it's like, yeah, I have a confidence rating of like a 8 or whatever that he'll take a significant step forward this year. But we haven't seen like enough concrete proof throughout the entirety of the summer that that's definitely going to happen. He fumbled in week 1 of the preseason, almost threw an interception in week 2. I think like if he had played, if he had thrown 15 passes today, then we might have
yeah.
more proof that he's going to be the guy that everyone thinks and hopes he's going to be. But it's just like it's been a little bit of a roller coaster ride, a little bit for him at
Well,
times.
how about this? How about this? Because I watched Drake Maye last year, and at some point I was like, that's Josh Allen. Like, the
Right?
size, the
Yeah.
running, the throwing on the run, the skill, the size, whatever. Josh Allen's rookie year, we all know, sucked.
Oh yeah.
And
He wasn't great
his
his second year
his
either.
second year was
Yeah.
not great, but I believe the second half of it was.
Okay.
Like,
Yeah.
I could get into the splits in 2019, but he
Mm,
finished with 20 touchdowns and 9 interceptions, which is like fine.
right.
But if you go like by month, let me see. Yeah, so he had 11 touchdowns in November and December compared to 9 in his September of his second year, 3 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. We
Right.
were all doing the ha ha ha, Josh Allen, what a
Yeah.
bust. And then after that, he had 17 touchdowns and 3 picks the rest of the way. So
Right.
it took him beyond his second training camp to really become the guy that we know. So maybe the development and growth happens on Sundays in the fall. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
And
Like,
like,
that's a different thing than a Saturday 1 p.m. game in an
right.
empty US Bank Stadium.
I think it's also smart to look at Josh Allen. He didn't become Josh Allen until year 3, and like to really be patient with Drake Maye and to not give up on him in year 2 if he doesn't look like Josh Allen, let's call it, in like September or October. There's still enough there tools wise. And like me saying like, how confident are we that he's going to take a huge leap forward this year? That's not to say that like if he doesn't this year, they need to ship him out to wherever.
Hmm.
Like it's still possibly gonna be fine, but like I think that we might need to like slow our roll and be a little bit more patient. That if he doesn't count out gangbusters in September, I don't think we should all be yeah
Yeah. Josh
freaking out.
Allen. Josh Allen's the key. And just as a reminder to the world, his rookie year sucked. Oh my God.
Right.
He was like a meme factory, the way he couldn't throw the ball to a
Yeah.
human. One of the best turnarounds I've ever seen any player in the history of the NFL.
Yeah. No. So yeah, if Drake May can do that. That's great. And even if he can't be Josh Allen, it's still entirely possible that he's gonna be a great quarterback.
I have my list here, and
Yeah.
on the Travion touchdown, I actually highlighted it, and it just says Travion is a man. So that was good. Will Campbell blocking on that did a good
Yeah.
job.
Yeah.
Um,
I think Campbell was fine today. Jared Wilson got benched. He
mhm,
got demoted. I guess benched is harsh,
mhm.
but we kind of knew that was going to be happening based on what we saw in the joint practice. But then Ben Brown is there at left guard. Vrabel told the WBZ crew that they're still settling on a 5 best offensive linemen. So first of all, I obviously everyone would love if Jared Wilson was incredible, the guy at left guard, blah blah blah. There's something to be said that maybe you don't want the two rookies starting next to each other.
Uh-huh.
The other thing that I would possibly say about Jared Wilson starting at left guard, this is not to say that they shouldn't do it. Garrett Bradbury is not a big offensive lineman. He's probably, let's call it like 6'3", 300 without me looking it up.
I'll look it up. I got
Jared
you.
Wilson is also, I would say, about 6'3", 300. Neither one of these guys is Mike Owenu. Neither one of these guys is even like, I don't know. They're not huge offensive linemen.
Did you say 6'3", 300?
I did.
You dirty dog. Garrett Bradbury, 6'3", 300.
Boom. What's Jared Wilson? 6'3", 310.
You're
They're
cheating.
not
You're cheating.
they're not huge. I looked that up.
You son of a gun.
But like they're both smaller guys. Like there's a
Yeah.
question about Jared Wilson if he's big enough to be an NFL guard. He's big enough to be a center.
Yeah.
So a guy like Ben Brown, I'm going to say Ben Brown is 6'3", 315. 6'6", 315.
6'5", 313.
Okay.
This is
So
our new
like
podcast. This is what we're doing from August 18th to September 7th. Is we're just going to do guess the height and weight.
so
Isaiah Bolden.
he's a slightly bigger Isaiah Bolden. I'm going to say 6'3", 195.
6'2", 205. You
Oh
suck.
no. All right,
All
well, I
right,
was close.
go back to your point.
But I don't know, like Ben Brown is a bigger guy than Jared Wilson is. So like maybe you want to even out the size on both sides of the line. Maybe you don't want two rookies starting next to each other. It's still not ideal that you have to demote a rookie before week one. But once again, like let's not give up on Jared Wilson,
Yeah.
but it's
Well-
significant. Like the offensive line is such a big question mark that like any tiny movement on the depth chart is big.
Vrabel was asked. That was the first question. He was asked. Did you watch Vrabel's press conference? I know you were.
I did.
The weirdest opening to a post-game press conference I've ever seen in my life. He was like goofing and guffawing up there. It was because I guess there was no one there.
There was literally, I think, probably 4 people there.
Steve, Rochi.
5 of them. Steve, Rochi, Chris Price, Nicole Yang, and Phil.
Yeah. So quiet crew, but
I'm sure he would like, given the fact that, I don't know, 20 people traveled to Minnesota, when he got up there
Yeah.
and saw 5 people, he's probably like, what the hell?
you know, the media business these days, in the old days, you'd be there all week, but you know, everyone, that's an extra 2 nights. That's a lot more bucks going on. But his first question was about that. And basically the way he said is like, it wasn't like they're putting a date on it. Like they have to figure out. It's like
Yeah.
when it's right, it's right. And they're still experimenting and figuring it out. And I think if anything, like my initial reaction, whenever it was 2 weeks ago, when one of you people tweeted like Ben Brown is in, and I was like,
Mhm.
Ben Brown's on the Patriots.
Oh, wow.
Still, this
Yeah.
was, you know,
Yeah.
2 weeks into camp, the first time I'd really heard him.
Right.
So that was mine. And so there's this sort of negative stigma. He was part of last year's problem, et cetera, et cetera. But like, he's also what, a 3rd-year player?
Yeah. And like, he was pretty decent last year.
Right. It's
He-
just sort of guilt by association.
Yeah.
And like, he obviously had bad plays, but they were also poorly coached and he had bad plays. So, I mean, this is someone who could be an NFL. You're not asking to play the hardest position. Like guard is a position that people can play in the NFL.
Yeah.
So I don't rule out the fact that if Ben Brown is better than Jared Wilson right now, like I don't think that's a terrible thing.
No, I would agree with that. We got into it, I think, a little bit yesterday. I should know. My mind isn't the way that it used to be. But like, okay, so Kyle Duggar played until the final snap,
Sure
and
did.
Anthony
Clutch.
Jennings played until the fourth quarter.
Yep.
And like Anthony Jennings, obviously, like he would probably prefer to not be playing in the fourth quarter of a preseason game. But like, can you imagine how fun it is for him to be going up against fourth string guys and just
Right.
being like, "Ha ha! I
He's
am the best player on the field. I am the best player in the world. I am
was-
an All Pro."
He was drafted before anyone he was playing against went to college, matriculated to college.
Yeah,
Like
right.
all of those guys
Yeah.
went to school in 2020 after. He was drafted
Yeah.
in 2019. So yeah, if you're gonna play
No, he's drafted in 2020, I think, right?
19.
Really?
Yeah. He's a 6th-year guy, I think.
Oh, I thought he was
Oh,
drafted
now
the
we're
same year
doing
as Uche.
now we're doing guess the draft year. Oh, 2020.
Oh, you might be right. No, I think you might. You might be right.
2020. 2020.
Oh, it was. Of course, I was right. Yeah.
Yeah. Damn. But what's his height and weight though? Smart guy.
6'3", 260.
I got to go to the official team. I can't do pro football.
I'm gonna say 255.
He's changing his answer.
6'3", 255.
Anthony Jennings, 6'2", 255.
Oh, I was 1 inch off. Oh.
But all right, so I was off by a year. So whatever.
Yeah.
If you're gonna play in the second half, I think you'd want to have the second half Anthony Jennings had, not
Yeah.
the one Duggar had, where Duggar's just sort of out there.
Yeah.
I mean, he had the pick at the
but he
end.
almost fumbled it away.
He had the pick at the end after Mike Vrabel demonstrably told him how to play what they wanted to play. He was like doing this like play over the top, like play.
Right.
And sure enough, great coaching point because he stood there and picked it off. The quarterback at the time was a man by the name of Max
Brosmer. Yeah, he's
Sure.
had a good camp. UNH guy.
Shut up. So that's Patrick. The torch being passed from Patrick Chung to Kyle Duggar from the Super Bowl era to this, and now he's picking off Max Brosmer in the final minute. So yeah, not good. And
It's not good. Yeah.
Vrabel gave a long answer about Jennings being out there, but I think it applied. I applied it anyway to Duggar because no one followed up because no one was there. Where it's just, well, we need 11 guys in the field and we don't have that many between inactive guys that didn't travel, and guys that come out. It's just how the depth chart works. But it is, I guess there are many coaches who would maybe feel bad for a veteran like Duggar and play. I don't know. Del Pettis was out there with him. So
well, that's the thing is that like I'm looking at the roster right now.
Who else would be?
If Craig Woodson,
he started,
and Jalen Hawkins are going to be starters or pseudo starters, you don't want them on the field in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, and it's
beyond that, it's Del Pettis who was out there. Brendan Schooler's going to be a huge impact maker on this team. You don't want him out there at that point. Like it could have been Marcus Epps,
I guess,
but he's also a veteran.
Yeah, so I don't know.
He played deep too. So yeah.
Yeah, and so it's a fair thing. That's what happens when you drop down the depth chart, I guess, which is, I don't know. I wish you were there. I would have been texting you and say, could you talk to Kyle Duggar for the podcast? Because I'm curious what he's thinking, but you'll get to see them this week. Maybe you'll get to talk to him because it's a fairly significant thing for two reasons, because of, his draft stats, but I mean, that's years ago. More so because they, as we discussed yesterday, like they can't cut him.
They can, but they'll have to still pay him $10 million. So it's kind of a tough pill to swallow.
I don't think you have roster autonomy as Mike Vrabel and Elliott Wolf, but when it comes to $10 million for nothing, the owner might have something to say about that.
Yeah, he might
he just bought a statue.
Might hang Elliott Wolf upside down by his ankles and say, "Give me my $10 million."
He just bought a statue that took 20,000 hours of man hours to put together, which we've done the math on is how many years?
That's 6. I don't know.
It's many years. Yeah. So, it's I don't know. Like, what do you do? Do you take an extra safety if he's not in the top 4? And just keep him because of his salary?
No, I don't think you can. And Jalen Hawkins is making the team. Jabril Peppers is making the team.
Jabril Peppers was wearing sunglasses, eating peanut butter and jelly, having the time of his life. I think he's on the team.
Craig Woodson is making the team. Brendan Schooler is making the team. So then it comes down to like, do you keep 5 or 6? And the options for the 5th or 6th guy would be Marcus Epps, Kyle Duggar, and Del Pettis. Like, I don't think that Del Pettis or Marcus Epps have done so much this summer that they look at Kyle Duggar and be like, oh, we got to keep these guys over Duggar. But I don't know. I mean, it goes back to like roster autonomy of like, do you want the guy who's making $10 million to be inactive every week?
I would guess if I had had a inactive safety every week, I would rather it be Kyle Duggar than someone else, even if it, reflects poorly on whatever, Elliott Wolf or whoever, because if you need him, I'd rather have him than someone who's not as good. And he was not long ago a very good safety. If he's not as good, he still is probably a better third string safety than most other third string safeties.
I'm at the point now, and maybe I'm overreacting to his production today, but like I'm ready to keep Anthony Jennings too. Like he's been he's
yeah. Well,
he's the thing about Jennings over Duggar is that like Jennings has still been good in practice. Jennings, when you see Jennings running scout team against the Patriots starters, he's like making things difficult on them. He's making plays. Or when he's out there on the second string against the Vikings in joint practices, like he's getting pressures and making sacks. Like I think that that's a guy that you almost want to reward by keeping him on the team because it's like, hey, we demoted you, but you're still trying so goddamn hard that you're making everyone's lives like miserable because you're a backup.
Yeah, and if you caught Vrabel on that, he did feel Vrabel is not Mr. Touchy-feely sensitive, but he also played in the NFL and probably, and he said it himself, like I was brought into Pittsburgh and I wasn't playing and I was this, and then he went to New England and he earned his way and then he became basically a well-paid star, blah, blah. And I was traded. So like he can relate to all these different things. It felt like he had at least a twinge, is that the right word, of sympathy for the position he's in. He's like, he's taking advantage of all the opportunities we give him. He's putting in the work.
Twinge? I don't know which one.
A faint feeling of sympathy because he's saying like he's looking at the guy and he's like, he's doing everything we ask of him. So I guess there is a way he finds a way to sneak onto the roster. But I guess I would pose to you, because of the position, and if you produce, even if it's the preseason, is there a potential of a trade value? Because I always go to the best example in the history of people not doing their homework when Mark Anderson had 10 sacks for the Patriots.
Oh, yeah.
And I swear 7 of them came in the last 3 minutes of blowout wins. And the Bills went and gave the man $8 million. He played one season and never played again.
Yeah.
Like it was, there are teams that can be like, oh, he has this many sacks. So if that's the case, and you could get, I don't know, a 6th round pick.
Right. Or like a useful player or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
Might be worth it. If they can trade him for something worthwhile, and if they don't feel like he's a fit regardless in their system, then yeah, I think that you can still do that. But like, am I like pounding down the door to keep Truman Jones or Elijah Ponder over Anthony Jennings? Like probably not, right?
Well, I guess it's the old potential versus what you've got situation. Truman Jones had a nice play chasing down, was it Rippon? I'm trying to remember at what point of the game it was, on a 3rd down. And you had another guy covering the running back in the flat, led to a 3rd down incompletion. So I don't know. Truman Jones seems to be impressing a lot of people from the offseason through now.
Yeah, he's had but like, did he have 2.5 sacks today?
No,
I agree with you. And like, if they truly do believe that Truman Jones is a better fit for the defense or whatever, then if he can be more useful on special teams, because that's another big thing too, is that like Anthony Jennings and Kyle Duggar at this point in their career probably aren't going to be like on every special teams unit,
Right.
Yeah.
That was the other thing. Vrabel's like, we got to protect the punter. We got to cover kicks. Like people got to play. It was a funny answer.
Not a lot of down performances today. On my list was Demontre Jacobs, who's falling down the depth chart, allowed a couple of pressures. Javon Baker, 1 catch on 7 targets. PFF.
Can we talk about
2 drops?
So there was his play in the end zone that looked like a bad Dobbs pass, but then they showed the replay and it looked like Baker was sort of engaged physically with the corner, broke off, and then just
Yeah.
stopped moving. And Dobbs actually threw it where he should have been, and it should have been a touchdown. That was my read on it.
It also like very easily could have been a penalty on that play because like he was fully engaged in shoving a cornerback on
Well,
that
it
play.
was both ways, I
Yeah, it
guess.
was.
So it was physical.
And
He
they
he
weren't really
broke
calling a lot
free.
of penalties today, I felt like.
Thank God the game would have
Yeah.
been even longer. But yeah, his catch in the fourth quarter ended up being a pretty nice one, I
It
thought.
was a nice one, but it also came after I think at least two drops. Yeah.
Do you know what else it was? Was a nice ball by Ben Woldridge.
It was a nice ball by Ben
Oh, that's
Woldridge.
pretty nice.
Big Ben Woldridge guys right
Yeah.
here.
Where do you put Andy Borregales? Because
I had kickers down in general.
why? What did Parker Romo do to offend you? Bad
Um,
kickoffs.
he
He was one
was
for one
he
on
the one
field
who was
goals.
penalized for the kick that didn't fall within the landing zone?
Oh, honestly, I told you this. I've stated this clearly. I don't watch kickoffs. Really, I. You want to ask me the new rules that they change every year? Not sure.
So
Gonna
you
have
just
to look it
close
up.
your eyes.
I mean, I watch, but like if they talk about landing zones and they talk, this comes out to the 30, this comes out to the 35, this one comes out to 20, I'm like, shut the hell up. Like, I just
His kick was short of the landing zone.
You can't have that. You got to
And
kick it
then
in the landing zone.
Borregales also had a kickoff that was short that led to a long return.
Okay.
But okay, so
But
in a vacuum,
yeah.
missing a 57-yard field goal is not a big deal.
Yeah, but that
Missing
kick
it to the
sucked.
degree that Andy Borregales did
Yeah.
is a big deal because it
sideways.
genuinely like was not even relatively close.
It was never within the goalposts.
No, like the goalpost would have had to be to like the far
End zone.
left of and in the middle of the field and like low down. Like it was a terrible attempt.
But then he made up. He made the 51
He made a
yarder
51
later.
yarder. Yeah.
So it makes it a little bit more interesting.
It does.
Parker's was Romo's. We're not on a first name basis. Romo's was 28 yards, which is kind of like
right. But he did hit a 57 yarder last week.
That's correct. Outside, though in August, so a little bit different. But yeah, I don't know. It's I forget who this week. I saw one of the quotes come out of there like doesn't matter. Maybe it was from Jeremy Springer. It's like draft position won't matter when it comes to making a choice. So that is very much not yet decided, I would say.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And like both guys started off really hot this summer, and now they've both kind of had issues as of the last week or two. So curious to see how that all plays out. I think the ball comes off Parker Romo's leg a little bit better,
a little more professionally.
But as I've stated before, there's a reason why he's been on. How many teams has Parker Romo been on?
Not sure, Doug. But can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Because you are an exclusive club, okay? Like when you first got on this job, Gostowski, one of the best kickers of all time, right? Since then, been a real freaking whirlwind outside of the Nick Folk era. Like everyone else has been a real roller coaster. And you're talking racist kicker from Marshall. You're talking Chad Ryland. You're now talking this year's competition. There's probably someone else I'm missing.
Joey Sly?
Sly was pretty good.
Fine. Yeah, he wasn't bad.
So he was not of the roller coaster variety, but I guess in that like Ryland, Rohrwasser, no one's in that area, right? Like because Ryland rookie camp, not good.
No, and yeah, I would say that both guys have been better than that. Yeah. So, and this is Parker Romo's 6th team, and one of those was the San Antonio Brahmas.
They're good.
They are nasty.
That's
where all good kickers come from.
Yeah. Did you have any more downs? I interrupted you.
No, I didn't. See, that was the funny thing about this game is that like there weren't many significantly bad performances, I don't think. And maybe I'll change my mind on rewatch or something, but like
I mean,
as of now, it kind of is what it is. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't.
Did you have any more?
I just don't like watching Josh Dobbs that much. I don't know that
he wasn't bad today, though.
I don't know that it's going to matter. Well, he got a receiver knocked out of the game with a real piece of crap pass over the middle. So that was a pretty bad one. But downs, no. Now I'm looking at stats, which tells you, I'm off my notes. But I have a down for you.
Sure.
Alex Van Pelt getting thrown under the bus.
Not in Drake Maye's ear last year.
So Jason McCourty passed that along that I'm sure Drake didn't mean to throw Alex Van Pelt under the bus because I've since seen Jason McCourty try to clean it up with like a tweet. which is probably like, I don't want to make
Oh,
it look like Drake Maye was talking crap when he
right.
was trying to say something nice about Josh
Yeah.
McDaniels is always in my ear. Last year I didn't really have that, but it's also like sort of a peek behind the curtain of why you want a guy like Josh McDaniels coaching a
Right.
guy like Drake Maye, because
Yeah.
he's been through every NFL scenario imaginable. And granted, it was alongside the best quarterback of all time, but I
Yeah.
almost feel like, here's some transitive property for you. Brady being Brady and working with McDaniels like made McDaniels better. Like, and
Oh
it's
yeah,
almost
for
like
sure.
Brady was the coach in a lot of
Yeah.
ways. He needed someone to steer him and point him in the right direction, but I'm sure that's going to help. That helped McDaniels understand things on levels that maybe he wouldn't have otherwise. So
Right.
that is what you want, and it's like, and it's little stuff. It's going to be, on second down when he gets on,
Yeah.
you're on from 40 to 25, right?
Yeah.
Right? Or is it 15? I used to know this. I should know this. Is it 15 when the kill dies on the play clock? You can't call the play
Oh,
anymore. I think it's 15.
yeah.
But either way, when it clicks on at 40, it's gonna be like, hey, the corner's
Right.
doing this. Watch out for this. They're coming off the edge.
Or
Like,
on that
just a
third
quick
down, like
sentence.
they're light in the box, audible to a run, and then Trevon Henderson rips off a 10-yarder
Yeah.
or 11-yarder. Yeah.
Right.
First down.
So
So yeah, it's
it's going to
big.
be useful. And it's like, can you quantify that? No. But for multiple years now, I always go to the Patriots Raiders game, which we all remember for the insane Jacoby Myers lateral to no one. Like,
Yes.
remember they got to the red zone in that game and like couldn't get a play in, and like
Yeah.
Mac Jones is like looking, and Belichick and Patricia are like, well, and it's just like,
Oh,
you don't have that. You have as experienced an OC as you can have, and it's not to make Alex Van Pelt look bad. He just had never
no.
done it before, so how could he
Right.
be good at it out of the
Yeah.
gate?
Yeah. He would have had to take a few more years. Uh, Patriots fans, by the way, very lucky to have the McCourty twins part of their preseason broadcast. Like
For
those are
like
two
national, yeah, those are
national
national.
NFL analysts, and you got
Yeah,
two of them in there. Like, and Zolak does a good job too. I'm not saying that, but
yeah,
like most teams don't have the benefit of having like two of the bigger national NFL
yeah.
analysts as their color guys.
And shout out, give credit where it's due. Remember last year they debuted the play-by-play list broadcast,
Yeah,
and it was a train wreck because they kind of hung them all out to dry, and we're just like, yeah, if you'll figure it out. But I think they do a good enough job of telling you what's going on. Like, they kind of skipped that
yeah,
whole part last year in the first one, and now
right,
it's a pretty good. It's what you want, because you don't want straight play-by-play in the third quarter when it's
right.
Brett Rippon or Max Brom Brosner.
Brosmer.
Brosmer. Yeah.
We had my guy Mike Dussault filling in for Paul Perillo in this game as well. Did a good
Did,
job.
did very good.
Yeah.
I actually had a question for you. It is about the whereabouts of a Patriots player who you mentioned yesterday on the podcast. And where's Jelani Tavai?
Chilling.
Calf? Calf injury? Ankle?
He didn't start the summer on PUP, but he's barely been seen throughout the summer. Like one day he wasn't at practice. I'm sitting in the media area. I turn to my left, and he's just like sitting there with his family in the family section. I don't know. I don't know what happens with that, because like you'd think that if he wouldn't be ready to practice to a full extent, you just keep him on the PUP list, but they didn't
You
do
would
that.
think. You
Yeah.
would think. I forget why, but I was literally Google newsing Jelani Tavai today because I'm like, have I missed something? And there's nothing. Like, you go
You
back
can
to
text me
June is
next
the
time.
last story on him. Well, I saved it. I saved it for the pod. But so, I mean, that's a guy who signed last year.
Yeah, he's another one that like they wouldn't save any money by cutting.
Yeah, they would save 1.9 million. Well, it would cost them over the next 3 years. But it's just, I literally have not thought about him because I have not heard of him
Well,
this
the
whole
other thing
summer.
too is that like, so you kind of know that obviously like Christian Ellis and Robert Spillane are gonna make the roster.
Yeah.
Dr. Gibby, Jack Gibbons, probably gonna make the roster as well, almost definitely.
Okay.
But then like outside of Tavai, Mapu hasn't really done anything. A lot. Monty Rice hasn't done a ton. Cam Riley hasn't done a ton. So it's kind of like, I don't know. Seems like Tavai's probably gonna be on the roster one way or the other.
Well, then he should probably play a little, I would think.
If he's not healthy enough, then yeah. But well, that is a. I mean, I was thinking that as you were speaking too. I didn't want to interrupt you.
Thanks.
Linebacker is a pretty important position to play in a new defense. So if we're
You're right
going
in
to
the
go the whole
middle.
summer without him doing that, does feel like it could be an issue to
Yeah.
some extent.
You're right in the middle of it.
He depends on a lot. Like a lot of people depend on him. He depends on a lot of other people. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I genuinely don't know. But I guess if he was playing in the middle and was strictly focused on stopping the run, it's not a bad thing. But like, I don't like him in pass coverage, so I'm not sure.
Yeah, you need, and in this defense, I think that those guys are, and that goes back to the point of like who's going to cover tight ends, who's going to cover fast running backs on this defense.
Not him.
Not him.
I got
Alex Austin had 2 penalties, but he also had an interception. I thought
thanks
one of the
to
penalties was not great. Was probably a little ticky tack, and I think he's just been tight in coverage all summer. So I wasn't ready to give him a down for that performance.
give an assist to Caleb on Chase on.
Yeah,
Really good. He sort of did the pass rusher thing where you go past the quarterback and he
yeah.
was about to go back up toward the line of scrimmage, but then looked and saw the quarterback backing up and was like, gotcha, and got a hand on it. So after a summer where I've heard his name a lot from people like you, that was a play where we got to see that. I had 2 complaints about football
Okay.
that happened today. One, a down would be Tom Brady walking into the stadium with that Raiders jacket on. It's just like, I still can't, like, he's getting a statue in Foxborough last week and he like goofs around the whole time because it's
Right.
just, man, it just doesn't.
Is
Again,
there
not a
another example of like a super I guess like
Michael Jordan,
Derek Jeter owning the
Marlins,
Marlins.
Michael Jordan owning the Charlotte Bobcats turned Hornets.
Was he like regularly walking around in like Bobcats gear?
Mm-mm. Plus, he's a North Carolinian, so there was like that. Like Tom Brady doesn't own the Niners.
Right. If he owned the
He owns the
Niners, it
team
would feel
that
less weird.
he owns the team that abandoned and screwed his home area. Like,
And that he like screwed in the 2001 playoffs.
yeah, it just sucks. And again, I'm not a businessman. You can look around my basement, not gilded or oak, but it's just like, man, if you're the Crafts and you give that man 2% of the Patriots and
Right.
he's tied into your organization forever and he's showing up to Gillette,
Right. Because like obviously he wants to be doing this.
I
He
just
wants
think
to be around a team.
and like I get it's a different strategy. Like Mark Davis compared to NFL owners is poor, and
Right.
will do the owners didn't want it to happen because it was like devaluing it because it wasn't the right. It was just strictly PR, not a business decision.
Yeah.
But whatever it may be, I think it's like the contrast of last week, him coming to Foxborough and being like, "Oh, I love you all." Now I'm going to go to the Raiders game, who I'm in business with. It's just like, why could you not have made him in business here? And the
Yeah.
longer it goes, I guess because he does Fox, it's not going to really be a weekly thing.
No.
But it just kind of gross.
Well, it's going to be weird if when he does a Raiders game, that's for sure.
Right. Which I don't know.
When he
Everyone.
does a Raiders game dressed in a Raiders starter jacket.
Yeah. I wanted to look, by the way, because I saw Ashton Genty got dinged up but returned to the
Yeah.
game. 733 touchdown. So you get him in week 1. He had a nice little preseason game today. My other complaint, did you catch?
Yeah, what's your other gripe? These are Mike's gripes.
Mike's gripes. Kevin O'Connell doing the live broadcast for the Vikings during the game. Did you catch that?
No.
He was on headset with the Vikings broadcast and was like,
Okay.
all right, this play, we're going to do this. And we got this guy lined up here. He's going to be in motion. Check this out. And then like the viral moment was when they had the illegal formation because one guy was in motion, another guy reset at the same time. So that a big gain was taken back. He dropped an F-bomb. But you know what? That was a little showy. That was a little showy. It was a little look at
silly.
me.
Yeah.
I can coach a little football, guys. And it's just kind of like, I think most NFL head coaches know what they're doing. So just a little, everyone was like, oh, I love the peek behind the curtain. I'm like, I don't see the reason to do that. You know what? And I am a guy who holds a football sometimes, so I know what I'm talking about. So it was a little
too
showy.
high to get.
It was, if you search Kevin O'Connell, it's
up there.
everywhere. Everyone's like, oh, I love that he did this. And I'm like, kind of showy. Like that seems to me something like Mike McDaniels would do. And
did I tell you on the podcast yesterday that Kevin O'Connell does 20-minute press conferences where reporters ask him like 5 questions?
No.
That would be like, I don't know if I would love that.
It gets to be a little bit. Well, I actually, there was once a time, Doug, where the press conference was for the press and they would take everything that happened and tell people the interesting parts. Right. It wasn't a TV show.
Yeah.
which it has become. I think the Cowboys in like '07 Sports Center would just air their press conference, like T.O.
Mm,
and Romo and all that. And it just became the norm that
yeah.
press conferences were a TV show.
Right.
And it kind of ruined the press conference because it's a performance, it's
Right.
no longer, there's not that it was ever intimate and real,
Mm-mm.
but it's just way more like there's cameras and there's lights and it's live on
Right.
TV.
Yeah.
It's more of a speech than it is a press conference.
Thinking
And
a
the
lot
point
about
is
how different media used to be in like the 90s.
the
It's
90s,
real weird.
I've talked to Karin, so I think it was,
I
why am I
have
blanking?
too.
That's pretty
He's my
cool.
friend too.
Why am I blanking on the big Patriots win over the Bears when it was in Champlain when they were like
Mm,
redoing Soldier Field? Was that '02?
might have been.
And there's a David Patton touchdown, I want to say, in the back of the end zone, and you can see all the writers with their notepads
Yeah.
there. And like Karin's like, oh yeah, that's me right there.
That's
And like
funny.
there's a news clip from Rhode Island. I forget whether it's 6 or 10 or 12,
Yeah.
but I think it was whatever. I think it was ABC 6. And the reporter is under the goalposts while Vinatieri's game tying kick flies through. And he does his stand up and he's like, we're here. And if Vinatieri hits this kick, we're going to overtime. And we're going to overtime. It's like the content was unreal. But like,
Yeah.
unless you were in Providence watching the news at 11:15 that night, you
Right.
never, like, no one saw it.
No. Right.
So it is now everyone sees everything, but they also see nothing. To be everywhere is to be nowhere. That's a Thrice album, and it's really deep.
It's really deep. Yeah, I
Yeah.
think to some degree, I don't know. I guess I can't blame the whole like press conference becoming a TV show thing on Twitter, but like Twitter's been both the best thing in the world for media and sports media, but also like probably the worst thing. So
Well, now we're the
what
only
it is.
ones left. So
We've got two questions real quick, both from Russo. What up, guys? Can y'all explain why Javon Baker catches are so dang hard to come by?
mm,
I it's I think overall, like I don't want to simplify this, but so Justin Jefferson, I was looking at his stats today, and he had like
good stats.
1,500 yards as a rookie.
Mm,
Like sometimes it's just very evident when a guy is like really, really good coming into the NFL.
yeah.
And that's not to say that like every wide receiver needs to be Justin Jefferson, but like there is a certain point where you look at someone last year, like Javon Baker had one catch all year. You have to say like, maybe he's just not ready. Like maybe he's just not good enough right now. And like, that's not
Yeah.
to say that he'll never be good enough, but sometimes you just know right away with guys. And the fact that he had one catch last year, sure, you can blame it as much as you want on the offense, the wide receivers coach, the quarterback, everyone else. But like when guys are good, sometimes guys are just good. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm not giving up on Javon Baker, but I think like currently as it stands right now, he might not be as good as fans think he is.
Yeah, and you look at I did this. Sometimes you look at a guy who had big college stats, and you look at who they came against, and it's like Northwest
Right.
Idaho State. Not Javon Baker. His
Yeah.
biggest games were against Georgia Tech, Oklahoma, Texas Tech, Baylor, Oklahoma State,
Right.
Cincinnati. Like he played well against real teams. I just think there's that next level where it's more than that. Like think about this. How many? I'm going to get the number, okay, because it's important. How many Division I college teams? It's like 150 or something.
120, something like that.
Let's see. Google, useless.
In the
Football.
FBS.
Football. Okay. 134 Division I FBS teams. Okay.
Okay.
Each one of those teams
136.
has probably 4 cornerbacks that play every week. That is close to 600 guys, call it.
Yeah.
Of those 600 guys, maybe 12 to 15 get drafted every year. Maybe 4 of those guys never make a roster. So it's just like the level of competition. You have to be that much better at this level. Everyone is the best cornerback you've gone against in your life to this point. And that's why I think like Travis Hunter as a top pick is, it's not just like, oh, well, he did it in college, he'll be great at this. Like you kind of have to work on everything.
Yeah.
And to your point, some of that is work, some of it, but like to what you were saying, I've said this before. The best receiver I've watched play is Antonio Brown, who's like 5'10", 180 pounds. But when it comes to just like seeing the ball and physically catching it, no matter what position on the field you're in, no matter what your feet are doing, no matter where the defender is, and just being able to catch it, some of that's innate.
Yeah.
and it doesn't always translate. And I've used the other example, like Tyquan Thornton was a productive receiver in college. Doesn't
Right.
really translate. So
No.
I'm not burying Baker, but I watched just that route we talked about. He didn't finish.
Right.
So he's got some physical tools, but there's way more to it than that. And you kind of have to be locked in every step you take on the field.
Antonio Brown, by the way, 16 catches, 167 yards as a rookie. So sometimes things click for guys in year two. We'll see what happens with Baker.
What was
But
going on
so
with that?
far, well, he was like a fourth or fifth round pick, wasn't he?
Yeah,
Sixth
but
round pick.
50, 16 catches for 160. Who was catching passes in 2010 for
For the
Pittsburgh?
20, was Heinz Ward still on the team?
2010. The
Mike
leader
Wallace,
was
Heinz
Mike
Ward.
Wallace. Mike Wallace with
Ah,
60 and Heinz Ward with
They
59,
they had
followed by
Heath
Heath
Miller. They had
Miller.
Emmanuel Sanders. They had Antoine Randall L. They had some guys,
What was going on this year? I mean,
Yeah.
Charlie Batch started a couple games. Dennis Dixon starting 2 games, going
Wow.
2-0.
2-0.
No touchdowns and 1 interception. So
Byron
it's
Leftwich played. Antoine
this
Randall L.
Rashard
caught 2
Mendenhall with
passes.
almost a 1,300-yard season. So yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Wow. I forgot that he was that productive, Rashad Mendenhall.
Pittsburgh had that run of running backs. They were all,
They
elite.
did. Willie Parker, Jerome Bettis, Rashad Mendenhall. Second question here, also for Russo. On a scale of 1 to 10, how frustrating is Pat's run defense and coverage against tight ends going to be this season? Unless they take the idea of having Alex Austin playing against tight ends, could be pretty frustrating to watch them cover tight ends this season because it's already been pretty frustrating in joint practices in the preseason. Run defense, they might be fine.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, we still haven't seen the starting defense, which I guess
Right. We haven't
we
seen
don't.
Carlton Davis and Christian
Who
Gonzalez together. We haven't seen Christian Barmore.
Barmore, Williams, like let's see them all across the board playing together. Like,
Right.
though one of the things I said on TV last night that everyone was watching, so I'll repeat myself, was I want to see Carlton Davis in a Patriots uniform, and we got to see that today with a third down pass breakup. So
pass breakup looked pretty good out there.
Shout out to him. And then
He's
Marcus Jones.
He's a fun guy too.
That's actually something you want to talk about, things that make Mike Vrabel happy. An empty press conference room is one of them. Another is a third down pass breakup, a 37-yard punt return, followed by a touchdown drive. Like that was with 2 third down conversions. Like that was complimentary football in a vacuum. And I think that's probably why he was fine taking the starters out on offense, because it was like, you know what? That's what I wanted to see. We got this. Now let's get out of here and not get hurt. Tight
Good
ends
return game so far.
Yeah, they did give up one, but the return game is there. What tight ends are on the schedule this year? Like
well, week 1 you got a tough one. You got Brock Bowers,
who actually, I heard this on the radio the other day. They released an all-time All-American team for college, like the number one, like all-time AP All-American, and Brock Bowers was the tight end. So
wow,
pretty crazy. I didn't really
not bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes those tight ends don't produce that. Like Travis Kelce wasn't like an incredible college tight end. Rob Gronkowski wasn't an incredible college tight end.
Like Tony Gonzalez, I don't know if you know this, played other sports.
Right. Dolphins in week 2, they have Darren Waller. I don't even know really what's going on with Darren Waller at this point in his career.
No more Jonnu, right? He left.
Steelers in week 3, so that's what? Fedorowicz? Am I crazy about that?
Fryermuth.
That's who it is. Yeah.
They have Jonnu Smith.
Yes, Fryermuth. That was nuts. I can't believe I said
you interspliced your people there.
Fryermuth is pretty good. Panthers tight end.
Not sure. To be honest with you, I'm not sure.
This is a tough exercise to do before football started.
What's their height and weight?
God,
the Bills. You got a tough one there in Kincaid.
Bills that we've got Kincaid.
That's going to be a problem. Saints, not going to name many Saints this year.
Jimmy Graham. I'm kidding.
I'm pretty sure. Also played another sport, if you didn't know that.
The Saints tight end is Juwan Johnson, who's pretty good. Taysom Hill, I don't know what his deal is at this point. So not like, I wouldn't say that this is like the murderer's row of tight ends that they're facing. Titans have Chigo Okonkwo. He's fine.
The Browns have
Ngakoue in week 8. Falcons have got what's his name?
Kyle.
The guy who's kind of a bust.
Kyle Pitts. He's gonna have a good year this year. Everyone's saying, all the fantasy guys, they're like, this is the year Pitts does it. So
come on,
look out.
Buccaneers have got UW legend Kate Otten. He's not bad. So I would not say that this is the most concerning year to be facing off against
Hmm.
tight ends if you're the Patriots, because the Jets don't really have anyone. The Bengals, I think, still have Mike Gesicki. Yeah, I don't know. So might not be
Yeah.
that frustrating.
Yeah. Good answer. Run game, TBD.
Yeah.
TBD. Week
Giants
one's
have
going to
like
be tough.
Bellinger.
Week one's going to be such a good game. Like
Ravens
I,
could be tough. Ravens have got a couple tight ends.
I think the Patriots are going to lose to the Ravens this year. Spoiler alert for our December 18th podcast. But remember, like the schedule comes, they're like, oh, Raiders coming here, they suck. But it's like if you just look at the Max Crosby and Ashton Genty factor, it's like I'm interested in
Oh
like
yeah.
that. That's going to
Yeah.
be a good game. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah. Pete Carroll.
Pete Carroll, Geno Smith.
Yeah.
They call that an answer. Is that what was that the quote? I already forget. I gotta rehash my.
What'd you think about the Geno Smith flipping a fan off thing?
I saw a picture. Didn't really look into it. You want to fill me in?
So some Seahawks fan was holding a sign that said like bigger draft bust, Geno Smith or Jamarcus Russell. And then
Hmm.
Geno Smith flipped him off. And
I'm on the record, Doug, as saying that professional athletes should be allowed to occasionally beat the crap out of fans.
yeah, I didn't really have a problem with him doing it. But I also, anyone who's like, did you see the sign? It's like, well, yeah, fans are going to be jerks to you.
You
Like
should
it's
get
kind of
like
what it's kind of what they do. I don't know.
once a year.
Yeah.
You should get to like just beat the crap out of someone and have it be on camera, and then
Yeah.
fans know like. But then it's tough because then they'll know you used your card, and then they'll really
It's
razz you
true.
pretty good. So there's got to
Yeah.
be some sort
You
of
got to pick the
stipulation.
perfect time. Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of like the Mitch Hedberg joke, like you should only get 3 beeps on the car horn a
Hmm.
month.
Yeah.
And he's like, I wish I hadn't seen Ricky on the sidewalk. I wish I hadn't beat the crap out of that guy at practice because now this guy's being mean. But I don't know. When fans are like as close, when they're like 3 feet
Yeah.
away from a 6'6", 270-pound, jacked 26-year-old man at the peak of his powers, and they're like, it's just like you
Yeah.
should get to punch that guy. Like I
Yeah.
just feel as though things would be more civil with the occasional leveling of the playing field.
It's fair. I think
Thank
that's
you.
very fair.
Yeah.
Got any nonsense to talk about it? Otherwise, I think we're kind of good.
I kept my nonsense to football nonsense, so I
I
think I'm good.
know.
I think I'm going to do the podcast with a football in my hand, though. It really gets me in the zone.
That is good. Wait, Jack Besh? Oh, never mind. Okay.
What? You doing height and weight?
No, I got confused. I Google or I searched Jack Besh on
Yeah.
Twitter because I wanted to see like how he's doing because
Yeah.
apparently he's on the Raiders. But then someone tweeted a clip that says Jack Besh goes up top, but it's a picture of Brock Bowers catching a pass. So then I was like, wait, did Jack Besh change his number to 89? But that didn't happen. I think this guy was like
No.
making a joke. It wasn't funny though.
Good one.
It was confusing.
I guess the last bit of nonsense would be Mike Vrabel related, which that clip that Diana
yeah.
Messina posted is really good because I thought he was going to do the cart return, which is like, a normal thing.
Right.
But Vrabel complaining about people that park in the handicap thing was like legit rage. And I just think the
Yeah.
funniest thing was, so he's asked what bothers him. And he said people that use the handicap spot at Starbucks to run in and like DoorDash or pick
Yeah.
up a mobile order. And he said he'll talk to them,
He'll
which I think
he'll wait by their car.
is so funny.
Yeah,
Like people forget because you see him on TV behind the podium, whatever. Like he's
Yeah.
a big dude.
Yeah, he's like 6'4". Yeah.
And he looks pissed off most of the time because I think he is pissed
Yeah.
off most of the time. Did you
Yeah.
see his face after the touchdown today? He
Yeah.
looked pissed off. He looked pissed.
Yeah.
He's generally pissed off. So imagine like you're running an errand, and I don't park in the handicap spot, thank God. So it'll never happen
I've never
to me.
done it. Yeah.
But people do it.
Yeah.
And you get out there, and there's just this big angry man just
Yeah.
calling you out directly. Like he's not afraid to confront, which is like a skill I wish I had. I don't know about you.
Yeah.
Generally speaking, I'm not confronting strangers,
Yeah.
but he has no problem with it. I just think, imagine it's like 7 a.m. You're like groggy. You're like, I just got to pick this coffee up. I'm just going to park here. And then you get out and you're like, I have to fight a giant man right now. So I thought that was pretty great.
I would say I already did Doug's gripes about driving the other day, but Olivia asked me, my daughter asked me like what makes me mad. And I don't like when there's someone going slow in front of me and someone behind me tailgates me because it's
Hmm.
like, what do you want me to do about this?
I know. That
So
was
then
me on the
I'll just move
highway.
over because I'm like, all right, I guess you can tailgate them. But it's just kind of like, I'm not choosing this. I
Yeah.
don't know why I'm getting punished for this guy going like 65 in the left lane,
It's
you know?
because some people are tiny pea brain morons.
Yeah.
And that's just I was driving on the highway the other night, maybe last night, and it was just one of those nights where everyone was being a dumbass. And it's just like,
Ugh.
this is dangerous for me, a non-dumbass. Like, there's no lane that I'm safe in because it's dumbass central out here tonight, 11 o'clock on a
Yeah.
Friday. Um,
This is
yesterday,
also something that like people like you can't even do anything about it because people are that dumb. But like when you have the person on the highway at night genuinely going like 130, like weaving in and out of
yeah,
lanes, it's like
I
there's like other people you could kill doing this. This is just
yeah,
insanity.
I was coming back from the beach last weekend with my family, and in the rear view, I just see it looked like a rocket ship. It was flying, and it was on 128. It was coming from Gloucester. It's 2 lanes, and this BMW or Mercedes, I forget, zooms by. It must have been going 125, 130, and just weaving and they went into the third lane, which is the on ramp. Which, if you've ever gotten onto 128, like north of Peabody, you know it's the hardest highway in the world to get onto. And these
Yeah.
people, and it's just like, I, I'm not a bad person, I swear to God, but I'm like, I want to see that car upside down. Nothing fatal. I don't want to see anything
No.
fatal.
Yeah.
I'm not a
Yeah.
horrible person,
No.
but you want to see people that put others at risk penalized
Right.
in the form of
Yeah.
their precious car being ruined and their ego being smashed. But that's the risk you take, I guess, when you hit the road. Yesterday, though, I was driving I live on a main road, and the people go 40, like it's a 35 speed
Yeah.
limit, but you go 40. I was going like 21 behind someone. I was by myself, and
Oh.
out loud, I said, "What is this? Like, what is happening right now?" And that's just me being impatient, and I will wear that one as me being wrong.
You know what? Someone tailgating me when there's someone in front of me is less infuriating than someone going even 5 miles per hour below the speed limit. Because like
Yeah.
if I'm driving down 140 to try to get to the stadium and like the speed limit's like 45 or whatever it is, and someone's going like 35 to 40, I'm like, what is wrong with you?
Yeah.
Why are you electing to make everyone's lives miserable by going slow right now?
You know what, Doug? That's us, though. I'm gonna say that's on us.
No,
We
go the
need
speed
to.
limit.
Well, you can go. It's not going to make any difference. Maybe you miss one light, but probably more realistically, it's not changing your drive at all. But you can control what you can control, and that's in here, Doug. And we both have to work on that. Until next time.
We do have one other question. Hi, do you guys read messages on here? No, we don't.
No, never
No.
done it. So
All
that
right.
last bit was just us talking. We probably should have cut the podcast before that, but we did it anyway.
Yeah, we forced nonsense.
What time are we podcasting tomorrow?
Oh God, it's gonna be a daily show. Uh, yeah. All right. Well, what do we have on the docket? I don't know. Maybe we could wait until the next preseason game to do this again, but we'll figure it
We'll
out.
see.
We'll do that off air. How's that?
I don't know. What else is on your mind? Let's do it. All right.
Not a whole lot. All right. I'll talk to you again soon. I'll talk to everyone else soon. Goodbye.